Yes, and guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a front lever tutorial, an advanced skill, an amazing skill, but I'm going to be coming at it from an angle today that no matter what stage you're at, there is a progression that you can start working on. There is something that you can start doing. The front lever is obviously very hard. However, you can get so much just from doing the progressions, because just doing the progressions from the front lever is more than enough to get you some serious back gains and to help your pull-up game as well. So definitely something that you should have within your routine. And yeah, today I'm just going to go through every detail, every method of training that I've implemented into my own front lever training, and hopefully something will click with you, hopefully something will work for you guys. Just for a disclaimer, I'm still very much on my own front lever journey. At the moment I'm holding the front lever for around 5 seconds, give or take. But one thing I have noticed, which I should just say straight up, is that being good at the front lever does require a hell of a lot of consistency. It's something that you are going to have to train regularly. At least for me, that's what I've found. Firstly, obviously, you are going to need to have access to a bar and ideally also a band. If you are starting from complete scratch, so no front lever training at all, then what I would suggest is getting a very high level of knee raises in your locker. So hanging knee raises, and this is just because it's kind of replicating the movements that you would be doing between a tuck front lever and advanced tuck. It's important to have a strong core for the front lever, even though it is your lats that you're predominantly relying on. From there, we want to move on to the front lever tuck. Front lever tuck is a brilliant position with so many progressions, so many different ways that you can build strength before moving on to the next stage. And I highly suggest that you spend a lot of time in this position getting as strong as possible. My main pointers for the front lever tuck is to obviously completely lock out your arms. Your arms need to be dead straight. Ideally, I would suggest learning how to hold the position in the false grip, so you can use a little bit more of your forearm strength as well. So in this front lever tuck position, if at first it is just too difficult for you, then that's where the bands come into play. With the band, get a nice thick band, you'll be able to hold it for a much longer period of time. And also what you can do with the band is start to do pull-ups. Front lever tuck pull-ups in that position with the band, and then eventually, once you can hit, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 reps, let's say, take the band out of the equation and start from scratch again, just with body weight. It's important to practice the static position as you would in the full front lever hold, but then also practice dynamic movements within that front lever tuck. Other than using the band and doing dynamic movements and static movements, what I would suggest is maybe adding a little bit of weight. If you have a belt, strap a little bit of weight to you and do the exact same movements that you would normally. See how you get along with that. Or, if you don't have a belt, maybe you could put like a small dumbbell on your feet or something and hold it there. In my personal opinion, I think that it is really important that you get as strong as possible in this front lever tuck position, just because doing a movement like this when your body is not used to it does take a lot of time for certain muscles to get conditioned. If you want to prevent injury and have faster progression when you do start to move on to the higher progressions, build a strong base within the front lever tuck. From here, it's pretty much applying the same principles, just progression by progression. So the next progression from a front lever tuck is obviously the front lever advanced tuck. And in this position, all we are really doing is just flattening out our back. So letting our knees just come out a little bit and letting the bottom of our back just be nice and straight. From there, one progression that I think gets overlooked quite a lot is the front lever frog. Personally, I found a lot of progress with this specific position, able to get a feel for what the straddle would look like, but in an easier way. And yeah, just remember that each time you progress, try and get to the point where you're doing some pull-ups in that position, and maybe you can add a tiny bit of weight. From here, it could be a little bit grey because we've got the front lever one leg and we've also got the front lever straddle. Now personally, I would actually say that even though the straddle might look harder, I don't think it actually is. And I feel like personally, I have actually made more gains from practicing more with the one-legged front lever. I know that's not a particularly popular opinion, but for me personally, despite that though, for you guys, practice them both, see how you get on, see which one feels harder. Ultimately, we want to be finding the progressions that are the most, well, I say painful, maybe painful isn't the right word, but you want to be making it difficult. So for me personally, I found the straddle quite easy, so I've put more focus on just doing more front lever exercises with the front lever one leg, and I've had more success in the actual full move by doing that. And then obviously from there, there's only one place to go, which is the full move itself. Other than what I've said in this video, I think one of the main things to remember is that a move like this will take a lot of time, so be patient. Like I said, I'm definitely still on my journey with the front lever, and it is a long one, but it will be worth it in the end, guys. One extra thing I'll add is that I do practice my front levers on a Gravity Fitness like big dip bar. It's probably not the right word for it, but you know what I mean. Generally I'm not using like a high bar to practice my front levers, and ultimately it is harder on a high bar, so don't just limit yourself to practicing on one type of bar, even though that sounds kind of weird. You'll be humbled when you go to the park and you try it on a high bar, so make sure you try and get practice in at all areas. One last thing to say is that going into the front lever move when you're on top of the bar will be easier than if you are below it and you just grab the bar from above you and pull yourself straight into that position. So if you're struggling to maybe bridge the gap between straddle and the full front lever, what you could do is just do some more practice on the lower progressions, but from being below the bar and just going straight into the position, and instead of being above it and letting yourself kind of fall into it, if that makes sense. But yeah, I really hope you guys found this video useful. Please let me know how you're getting on in the comments, and you know what your max holds are and what you're struggling with. You know, let's share. You know, if you've got any more tips or if there's anything that I've missed out, then please put them down below. But no, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.